if Azula was reborn with every memory intact? Not the prodigy, not the princess who never lost a fight in her life. The girl chained to a metal grate on the day of the comet, breathing fire and sobbing, watching her own mind come apart in the cracks of a shattered mirror. What if she woke up small again and remembered all of it? In the original timeline, the last thing Azula feels is cold iron on her wrists and the heat of her own scream. Katara has chained her to the ground. Zuko is wounded behind her. The throne is gone, her father is gone, and the only company she has left is the laughter tearing out of her own throat. That is where she ends. And then she opens her eyes, and she is a small child again. The palace nursery, the red silk, the turtle ducks in the garden pond she has not seen in a lifetime. Every memory is pressed flat behind her tiny ribs. The war, the betrayals, the mirror, all of it. She is the most dangerous mind the Fire Nation will ever produce, folded into a girl who can barely make a spark. Most people, handed a second chance, would plan a conquest. Azula does not need one. She already won the war once, and winning is the thing that destroyed her. This time the enemy is not the Avatar. It is not Zuko, or the Earth Kingdom, or the Eclipse. This time the only thing that can defeat Azula is the thing that already did. Her own mind. And she remembers exactly how it breaks. So she does what she has always done best. She sits down and she thinks, and she builds the map. In the original timeline, the cracks did not appear on the day of the comet. They were there the whole time, hairline thin, hidden under perfect lacquer. She just never looked. Now she traces every one. The first fracture is the boiling rock. Mai chooses Zuko over her and says it to her face. Ty Lee, the friend she trusts most, strikes her down to protect Mai. In one afternoon, the two people she has known since childhood both decide that loving someone else matters more than fearing her. She has them both thrown in prison and tells herself it does not hurt. It is the first lie she cannot make herself believe. The second fracture is her father. On the day of the comet, Ozai crowns himself Phoenix King and leaves her behind like a coat he has outgrown, handing her the title of Fire Lord the way you hand a screaming child a toy. And the third fracture is the oldest one, a mirror. A mother's face she invents inside it, and a single word she has carried since she was a girl. Monster. She has the whole disaster mapped now, every domino, every name. And sitting in that nursery with a lifetime of foresight behind her eyes, Azula learns the one thing the dead version of her never understood. Knowing exactly how you break is not the same as knowing how to stop. The first thing she changes is the smallest, and it is the hardest. In the original timeline, there is a day in the garden when little Azula throws bread at the turtle ducks hard enough to hurt them, and laughs when the mother bird bites Zuko for it. There is a day she holds the doll her uncle sent from the war front over an open flame while Zuko begs her to stop. A long, quiet campaign of small cruelties, and every one of them earns a smile from Ozai and a flinch from Ursa. That flinch is the whole problem. Azula learns, before she is even 10, that her mother loves the soft brother and fears the sharp daughter. And a girl who decides her mother sees a monster will spend the rest of her life proving the mother right. This time, in the garden, she stops her own hand. She does not throw the bread. She feeds the turtle ducks, badly, like a child who has never been allowed to be gentle, and her mother watches from the steps with an expression Azula has spent a lifetime misreading. It is not disgust. She knows that now. It was worry. Ursa was never afraid of her. Ursa was afraid for her. It is a small thing, a handful of bread. But Azula finally understands what her old self never could. The monster was never in the fire. It was in the belief that fear was the only thing she had to offer anyone. And she planted that belief herself, right here at 6 years old. She is trying to dig it back out. She is just not sure the roots ever let go. By the time the war reaches her, Azula is the prodigy again. The blue fire comes back the way it always did, sharper than Zuko's, sharper than anyone's. Ozai gives her the same mission as before: hunt the traitors, take the Earth Kingdom. And she takes it because she already knows exactly how. But when she goes to collect Mai and Ty Lee, she does it differently, and the difference is everything. In the original timeline, she recruits them the only way she knows. She finds Mai bored half to death as a governor's daughter and offers her danger. She finds Ty Lee happy in the circus and makes her join anyway, taking the safety net away until the girl gets the message. She does not ask, she owns. They follow her the way you follow a wildfire because the alternative is being burned. And Azula calls that loyalty. It is not. She knows that now. Fear loyalty has a breaking strain, and she has felt exactly where it snaps. So this time, she actually asks. She tells Mai the truth, that she is bored too, that being perfect is its own kind of cage, and for the first time, the two of them talk like people instead of weapons. She lets Ty Lee stay in the circus an extra week, shows up to watch, and when she finally asks her to come, she lets her say no first. Ty Lee says yes anyway, not because the net is gone, because someone gave her the choice. The great drill grinds against Ba Sing Se's outer wall and fails the way it always fails, stopped from the inside. It never mattered. The city falls the way it truly fell the first time, from within, when Azula turns the Dai Li against their own leader without changing a single move. She is winning everything she won before. She just keeps catching herself watching Mai and Ty Lee out of the corner of her eye, counting them, the way you count coins you are afraid of losing. And she cannot tell yet whether she has earned their loyalty or only gotten better at managing it. The dead version of her could never tell the difference either. That was sort of the point. Then comes the day in the catacombs, where the first Azula made the move that won the war and lost her brother in the same breath. In the original timeline, Azula stands in the green crystal light and offers Zuko a choice. Join her, betray the uncle who raised him, come home a hero. And Zuko, starving for their father's love, takes it. Then the Avatar rises into the glowing Avatar state, his back turned, and Azula does what Azula does. She fires the lightning. Aang drops, the Avatar cycle ends for a moment, and only Katara's spirit water drags him back. She remembers the exact feeling of that bolt leaving her fingers. Cold-blooded fire, her uncle called it, the technique that needs a perfectly still mind. Hers was perfectly still. That was the proof even then that something was already wrong with her. This time she still fires it. She is not a hero, and she did not come back to lose. But she does the one thing the first Azula was too proud to do. She does not make Zuko choose. She does not offer him the poisoned crown in the crystals. She does not ask him to sell out Iroh to prove he loves his family. She wins the city without forcing her brother to betray his soul for it, and she lets Iroh slip away instead of dragging him off in chains. It costs her nothing she actually wanted, because in the original timeline, that betrayal in the catacombs is the thing that cracks Zuko open, and the guilt of it is what eventually drives him to her enemy's side. Remove it, and her brother stays whole, and stays hers. She tells herself that is a victory, and for once, she lets it simply be one. Her brother gets to keep the soft heart the first timeline burned out of him. That is the whole point. She does not need him to grow past her anymore. The next fracture is her brother, and it is already half healed by what she did not do in the catacombs. In the original timeline, when the Avatar survives, Azula plays it cold. She tells their father that Zuko struck the killing blow so that if the Avatar ever turns up alive, the failure lands on Zuko and not on her. It is a brilliant little knife, and she slides it into her own brother's back without blinking. Then on the day of the eclipse, Zuko stops being afraid. He walks into the bunker, says everything he was never allowed to say, redirects their father's lightning, and leaves to join the Avatar. The boy she spent her whole life outshining chooses the enemy over his own blood. This time, she does not throw him under the airship. When their father asks who killed the Avatar, she tells the truth, or close enough. And she does not set up Zuko to take the fall if it all comes apart. She has nothing to gain from his ruin anymore. She has learned that a sister who only ever wins against her brother ends up with no brother at all. The eclipse still comes. The invasion still fails, because 8 minutes is not enough time to take a bunker full of firebenders. But when the sun goes dark and Zuko finally lets his rage loose at their father, something is different. He is not running toward the Avatar. He is just done with Ozai. And when he looks for somewhere to go, for the first time in either of their lives, his sister is not the thing he is running from. She keeps him. Whatever breaks her this time, it will not be Zuko. She is starting to run out of people for the disaster to come from, which should feel like safety. It does not. And then comes the prison, and the day that broke her the first time. In the original timeline, the Boiling Rock is where Azula learns what her friends actually are. Zuko is there, freeing a prisoner, and Mai chooses to help him escape. When Azula moves to kill her for it, Mai says the words that end everything. She loves Zuko more than she fears Azula. And before Azula can answer that, Ty Lee, her oldest friend, jabs her in the back and shuts off her bending to save Mai's life. In one afternoon, on one gondola over a boiling lake, the two people she has had since childhood both choose someone else over her. She has them dragged away in chains and tells herself it changes nothing. It changes everything. This is the first crack you can actually see. This time, the betrayal never fires, because there is nothing left to betray. She does not bring them as guards she owns. She brings them as the friends she has spent 2 years actually building, the ones she asked instead of threatened. When Zuko turns up at the prison, she already knows he is coming, and she already knows Mai would die before letting Azula hurt him, because this time, Azula has bothered to learn that Mai loves him. So she does not put a blade to the one thing Mai cannot give up. There is no fear left in the equation to lose to. They get Zuko out. Azula lets them. She calls it strategy. That a brother in the wind is more useful than a brother in a cell, and maybe it even is. But the truth underneath is simpler and stranger. For the first time, Mai and Ty Lee leave that prison still standing beside her. The afternoon that shattered her does not come, and this is the part she did not plan for. The crack came from the outside the first time, from people. She has sealed every outside door. Mai is loyal. Ty Lee is loyal. Zuko is safe. There is no one left to betray her. So she keeps waiting for the blow to land from somewhere, and slowly, in the quiet, a much worse question starts to form. What if it was never going to come from outside at all? The comet comes, the way it always comes, every 100 years, turning every firebender into 100 suns. And on the morning her father is supposed to throw her away, Azula is finally ready for him. In the original timeline, this is the cruelest moment of her life, and she does not even see it land. Ozai crowns himself Phoenix King, ruler of the whole world, and tells her she will stay home and be Fire Lord. He hands her a title that means nothing the instant he invents a bigger one, and leaves to burn the Earth Kingdom without her. "You can't treat me like Zuko," she screams at him. And then she takes the crown anyway, because being abandoned with a title is still better, to her, than being abandoned without one. That is how starved she is. That is the shape of the wound. This time, she sees the knife before it moves. She knows the speech before he gives it. She knows the crown is a consolation prize for a daughter he has finished using. So when he names her Fire Lord and turns to leave her behind, she does not beg, and she does not grab for the title with both hands. She lets it sit there, weightless, exactly as worthless as it has always been. She stopped needing her father to take her with him somewhere back in a garden full of turtle ducks. For the first time, Ozai's approval is not the air she breathes, and his leaving does not collapse her lungs. It should be the moment she finally wins. She has the brother, the friends, the crown, the clear mind, every single thing the girl on the grate was missing at exactly this hour. She has unbuilt the entire disaster, one fracture at a time. So she cannot explain why, the night before her coronation, she finds herself standing in front of a mirror with scissors in her hand and a cold thread of dread climbing up her spine. She has fixed everything. Everything except the thing that was waiting in the glass the whole time. She lifts the scissors to her hair the way she did the first time, and the mirror does not show her face. It shows her mother. And this is the part Azula came back to win, and the part no foreknowledge can actually arm her for, because the enemy here is not a person she can outplan. It is a sentence she wrote inside herself before she could read. In the original timeline, this is where she comes apart. The vision of Ursa speaks to her gently, tells her she loves her, and Azula cannot hold it because every piece of evidence in her life says it is a lie. Her own mother thought she was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt. So she screams the only truth she has ever trusted. That fear is the only reliable thing. That even her own mother fears her. And then she shatters the glass because if her mother loves her, then the whole fortress of her life was built on nothing. And that is more terrifying than being hated. The Azula who broke chose the monster. It was the safer story. This time the mirror says the same gentle thing. I love you. And Azula stands there with the cold-blooded fire already rising in her hands. The old reflex, the perfect controlled strike that ends every problem. She could put a bolt through the glass right now and make the dread stop the way she has always made things stop. Her mind is still enough to do it. That stillness was always the proof something was wrong with her. But this time she has something the dead version of her did not. She has a brother she did not betray. She has 2 friends who left a prison still standing beside her, not because of a threat, but because she asked. She has a memory of feeding turtle ducks badly while her mother watched with worry, not disgust. For the first time in either of her lives, when the vision says she is loved, Azula has no counter evidence to throw at it. She made everyone choose her freely. So she cannot prove she is a monster anymore, and the lightning has nowhere to go. She lowers her hands. She does not break the mirror. She looks at her mother's invented face, and instead of screaming that even Ursa fears her, she says quietly the hardest sentence she owns. I don't want to be the thing I decided I was. The vision does not answer because it was only ever her. But the scissors stay down, and the glass stays whole, and the breakdown that was always meant to be simply does not arrive. And here is the cost, the part that makes this a tragedy and not a trophy. The Azula who survives that mirror is not the prodigy. The girl who needed to be perfect, who needed to be feared, who needed to win, had to die in front of that glass for the quieter one to live. She got everything back except the self she came to protect. She will spend every morning of this longer life choosing on purpose not to be the monster she invented, because that wiring never fully lets go. The fire is just blue. The wound is just a belief. And a belief is the one enemy foreknowledge cannot kill. It can only be refused again and again for the rest of your days. So in the end, there is no chained girl on the floor on the day of the comet. There is no triumphant laugh dissolving into sobs. Mai and Tai Li are still standing beside her, loyal because they chose to be. Zuko is still her brother, never betrayed, never lost to the other side. Iroh walked free instead of in chains. The mirror is unbroken. Every single fracture she mapped in that nursery as a child, she reached one at a time and held shut with her own hands. She did not come back to win the war. She came back to survive herself, and against the longest odds of her life, she did. But the victory has a shadow, and she carries it quietly. She is not cured. There is no cure for a sentence you wrote into your own foundation at 6 years old. There is only the daily, unglamorous work of choosing not to believe it. The one who came apart wanted to be perfect. This one settles for being free, and most days she is not even sure she likes who that makes her. She just knows it is better than the mirror. It is better than the chains. So that is what happens when the most broken mind in the Fire Nation gets a second chance, and spends it not on conquest, but on the one war nobody can win for you. She never grasped this the first time. Azula could rewrite every event in her life, and it still came down to a single moment in front of the glass, choosing whether to be loved or to be feared. Foreknowledge bought her competence. It bought her the brother and the friends and the clear day. It could not buy her the answer. Only she could give that. If you want another what if where one choice unmakes an entire tragedy, the next one is right here. Like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, could you have put the scissors down?